In today's video, I am going to be talking about half-court trap defenses in basketball and why they are so effective and how they can be even more effective to be able to get that ball back from the other team and score on the other end of the court. Half-court trap defenses work extremely well, and they work for even my 11U basketball team. Now, before you hate me for it, I do have a man-to-man component as well, and I'm going to get into that as well, but just not in this video. So in a half-court trap, the whole idea that you want to do is to trap on these sidelines right at half court. The reason why you want to trap in these spots is because now that offensive player can't go back over half, and if you can trap perfectly, he can't go this way, and he also can't go this way, which means that he is trapped and he can't go anywhere. Really quickly, if you want to have these trap defenses, or at least my trap defenses that I use with my 11U team, make sure to go check that out down in the description below. But also, make sure to go check out my unbeatable basketball zone defense for older players, as well as my perimeter defense, because you can use both in the half court as a trap and it works extremely well. So as an example, a lot of teams, especially for younger teams like 11U, they will not look to pass the ball up middle first, and that is one of the easiest ways to be able to beat a half-court trap. What they do is they say, oh, these two players, or maybe one player, depending on the zone that you're running, is clogging up middle, so I need to pass the ball over to the sideline to try and get that ball up sideline, because at least here, there's an open spot, maybe we can pass down here afterwards, something, whatever goes through those players' heads. And so they start to dribble up this side. Well, meanwhile, he starts moving over. Player 2 is guarding middle. Player 4 starts to move up. Player 5 starts to sink. And player 3 starts to move over towards the middle. At this point, we are starting our trap. Basically, at this point, we are guarding these areas in a zone, and we are trapping at half. As soon as this player gets here, we need to trap. This man needs to get his foot right on the sideline, because the worst thing is to allow the man to dribble up sideline. Now you're in a mismatch. We can pass here. He can drive. These guys are all messed up. Kick out 3, or maybe he cuts for a layup, whatever. We do not want the ball to go up sideline, so we want to trap this guy here. At this point, roughly the areas that you would be looking to guard is, of course, roughly just maybe 2-3 feet above the elbow. This guy should be guarding somewhere in the middle here, and player 2 should be guarding there. Obviously, these guys can't pass the ball back, and if they're younger, they generally try to run up middle, and that pass is either going to be a backcourt violation, or player 2 will be able to intercept and go down the other end for the layup. So this is why a half-court trap is so effective, because now we are forcing player sideline. That is exactly what you want to do, and to trap right at half. Now, if we don't get the trap at half, you can still run a trap along the sideline. You can still double team the sideline. So let's say, just as an example, player 1 was able to beat past half. You can still try and trap. You can still try and double team the sideline and get him over there. He can still reverse out, but if he reverses out, guess what? You just move with him. Every time he reverses out, you just keep on moving with him until you move him back to that perfect trap area. You could also run something like a 2-2-1. Now, I don't run this myself, but I've seen it ran a lot, because now, if the ball goes over to this side, what you are going to generally see is player 2 and 5 looking to trap, or you may see player 2 and 1 looking to trap, and then player 5 drops, player 4 moves up, and player 3 moves up. There's a few different ways you can run this. I personally prefer where player 5 and 2 go and trap. That way, these guys just have a simple task of moving over. It's less movement, less confusion, and now these guys have trapped up here. Now, going back to our zone, let's say we allowed player 1 to pass over to player 5. This would be player 4 trapping, player 5 trapping, player 3 would be moving down to the block. We would then have player 1 guarding the high post, and then player 2 guarding that kick out pass. So now, these guys have trapped. We don't want anything in the low or high post. We should be looking to front those players as much as possible. And then player 2 is looking to intercept any reverse out passes. So another way of being able, if we move our guys back into the zone, Another way to be able to trap in the half court is to trap these bottom corners. We should be looking in most half court traps to trap these corners as much as we can. You can even have it so that you pressure the ball extremely hard at the perimeter, front facing any player in the high or low post, which then forces that pass over to the corner, and then you sprint to go and trap. You baited them to pass to the corners, and now they're stuck in the corners, and there is nothing that those players can do to be able to cover or get that ball out of that corner. Especially at the youth level, traps work extremely well. So if your offense is coming down this way, basically you do not want anything up middle. You want everything up the sidelines in these spots. If you can make sure that you get those basketballs up the sidelines, this is exactly where you want them, because then you can push them towards that sideline. I don't mean push, but I mean like defend them tightly, defend them aggressively so that they dribble the ball towards the sideline, and that's when you pounce on them and you then get that trap. So definitely go check out my unbeatable defense that is down in the description, or my perimeter defense down there as well. Those are great for older age groups. If you coach younger age groups, make sure to go check out my deadly, and this is really deadly, defense for youth basketball teams. That is down in the description as well. I just recently released it, and it is absolutely amazing. You are going to get at least, at the very minimum, 15 to 20 points off of those defenses, because you are going to create so many turnovers at the younger youth level. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again in my next video.